Hieronymus Skelton was not the most powerful being on Earth. In fact, in most circles, he was rarely mentioned at all. To some, he was an obscure researcher, working in an out-of-the-way university lab. But for those who bothered to look closer, they'd notice something peculiar about him. For one, he never seemed to sleep. For another, every chalkboard he used ended up filled edge to edge with clusters of arcane symbols, numbers, and quotes in languages no one recognized. On a Tuesday morning in Metropolis, an unusual request arrived at the Daily Planet news desk. A letter, handwritten, addressed directly to Superman. The editor almost threw it away until he saw it was also stamped with an emblem nobody could identify. Design, intricate. Material traced to no earthly alloy. The letter read simply, to Superman. I request your presence at longitude 38.8951, latitude -77.0364, sunset, for an experiment. The coordinates pointed to a plaza just steps from the National Mall. Superman, ever cautious, responded with curiosity rather than concern. At sunset, the air shimmered and shifted. The press and bystanders had been cleared after Superman arrived, hovering above the plaza. His senses, always tuned to danger, detected the presence before seeing the man. Hieronymus Skelton, standing in a gray coat, with eyes that seemed barely awake, was waiting, holding a battered notebook. Superman landed. He kept his posture open. I'm here. What's the experiment? Skelton smiled, or tried to. To see if there are limits to the mind and body. Yours and mine. I've built something. I want to see how it works. Most confrontations with Superman begin the same. A declaration, a show of force magic, or technology. This was different. Skelton stepped to one side, revealing a structure hidden beneath a tarpaulin, something like a machine. Something like a sculpture, wires and mirrors and polished obsidian discs suspended impossibly in the air. Superman scanned it. The materials weren't from Earth. The energy signature, faint but present, didn't match any technology in his memory. So what does it do? Superman asked. It's a thought engine, Skelton said. It works by amplifying intention. If your will is stronger than mine or anyone's, it does nothing. But if my will is stronger, just for a moment, the implication was clear. Superman considered his options. If this was a threat, he had to neutralize it. If it was a test, he needed to understand the terms. He didn't detect any overt hostility in Skelton, but the ambiguity itself was dangerous. Skelton wrote something in his notebook. The machine's mirrors rotated, locking into place. A low hum began to build. It's ready, Skelton announced. We both focus on a single intention, mine, to immobilize you for 60 seconds. Yours to move freely. The machine will record which will prevails. Superman nodded. He was used to grappling with forces physical and metaphysical, but this contesting another mind was new. The experiment began. Superman felt a pressure, not on his body, but inside his head, a sensation like being pressed by thousands of invisible hands. His muscles tensed automatically, but the real contest was in his thoughts. Skelton's eyes closed. His face strained. For 30 seconds, nothing happened. Then Superman's knees bent, just slightly. With effort, he straightened. The air thickened, vibrating with invisible power. The mirrors flashed. Skelton gritted his teeth. Superman's heartbeat, normally steady, quickened. Not from fear, but effort. He recognized what Skelton's device was doing, translating psychic intent into force, something halfway between magic and science. And Skelton, while nowhere near Superman's physical equal, was a savant at focus. But the will of Superman, honed over decades of disaster and rescue, and anchored by an unwavering sense of duty to others, pushed back. He remembered every rescue, every promise ever made, and every failure narrowly averted. He willed every muscle to move. Step by step, he forced himself forward. At the 45-second mark, the machine's humming spiked. Skelton's hand began to tremble. Superman's boots scraped the plaza, inch by inch. The minute struck. A chime sounded from the device. With a clap like distant thunder, the mirrors collapsed inward. Psychic pressure vanished. Superman was on his feet, sweat beading his brow, almost unprecedented. Skelton exhaled, stunned. He was the first to speak. I calculated a 1 in 10 chance. And you made it through. Superman steadied himself. What now? Skelton closed his notebook. Now I know. It's possible for will to match force, even surpass it. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Security teams approached. Superman turned, ready to intercept if Skelton tried something more. But Skelton only picked up his device. Now inert hand nodded. Thank you, Superman. Experiment concluded. Without another word, Skelton disappeared among the shadows. Later, scientists puzzled over the machine's remains. Its workings defied all explanation. Superman would remember the challenge not as a contest of strength or speed, but as a reminder, sometimes the greatest power is the capacity to endure. As for Hieronymus Skelton, he vanished into footnotes and conspiracy forums. Rumors circulating about the man who tested Superman's very Wieland found it, if only barely, unbreakable.